Sport is an activity everyone has knowledge about. But how much of it is correct and how much of it is wrong? In today's video, you'll learn how to maximize your muscle growth. Before we dive into the video, if you subscribe and like, you'll be supporting me on this journey, so let's get started. When you work out, the reason your muscles grow and develop is due to hypertrophy. This means when you lift weights, tiny tears form in your muscles, and as your muscles repair themselves, they grow. So, does this mean that in order for my muscles to grow, they need to tear in small amounts, and how do I do that? Before answering this question, I want to take a look at some common misconceptions. First off, we talked about the need for small tears in your muscles, but don't go for weights you can't handle or use in proper form, because that can cause injury. The type of tear we want is not that extreme. Let me briefly go over some points that everyone touches on. Nutrition: the average person weighing around 75 kilograms should consume 120 to 150 grams of protein daily. You can get this protein from various sources, such as animal-based foods like eggs, chicken, beef, and turkey, or plant-based options like lentils, chickpeas, tofu, etc. You can also use protein powder. Many people view protein powder like it's a steroid, but I don't see it that way. I personally use it in my diet. Of course, there are some things to be cautious about when choosing protein powder. I recommend choosing a protein powder with at least 80% protein content. If possible, 90% is even better. If you can, isolate protein is a great option because it has a higher protein content and typically doesn't cause digestion issues, unlike some other types of protein powders. Also, there's no need for super detailed advice about nutrition here, but my key recommendation is to always read the label of the food or product you're consuming. There are a lot of so-called sports products on the market that aren't actually suitable for athletes, so invest your money more wisely in healthy eating rather than expensive supplements. When you choose a product, your first priority should be its content, not just its calorie count. The myth of more workouts equals more muscle. Some people believe that the more they work out, the more muscle they'll gain. This is completely wrong. If you're training properly, meaning focusing on hypertrophy, your muscles won't perform at the same level the day after a workout. You'll feel sore. So, I'm not going to tell you how many days you should train and how many you shouldn't, but the right approach is somewhere in between, not too much, not too little. You can figure this out by experimenting and finding what works best for you. Now, let's talk about how to maximize hypertrophy. 1. Proper form. People often focus on hypertrophy and forget form, or focus too much on form and neglect hypertrophy. To get the best results, focus on both. Performing exercises with the right form is crucial because a poorly executed movement will either not target the right area or not target it enough. So, how do you find the best form? It's simple: look it up online. Don't be embarrassed to check, and don't let people judge you. Your goal is to be focused on your purpose. Remember, to achieve the best results, you need to perform the movements as perfectly as possible. For beginners, I recommend looking up exercise forms online to ensure you start with the correct technique. You may have heard the terms positive and negative movements. What do these mean? Positive is the phase when your muscles contract and you lift the weight. For example, in the bench press, it's the part where you push the barbell upwards. Negative is when your muscles lengthen as you lower the weight in a controlled manner. For instance, in the bench press, it's the phase when you lower the bar after lifting it. Now, most people focus on positive movements and neglect the negative phase. However, the key to muscle growth lies in the negative phase. My advice is to lower the weight slowly and controlled. For instance, if it takes you 2 seconds to lift, aim for 3 to 4 seconds to lower it. This will maximize your muscle growth. 2. Sets and repetitions. You won't hear me say you need to do 12 repetitions. The goal here is to lift a weight that is neither too easy nor too hard and to keep pushing when you start feeling the burn in your muscles. Keep going until you feel the muscle fatigue, but don't overdo it or you'll wake up sore and unable to train properly the next day. Scientifically, there's very little difference in the effectiveness of sets with 6 repetitions versus 20 repetitions if you're pushing your muscles to failure. The key is to push your muscles to exhaustion but without overdoing it. Remember, if you're at the gym, make sure you're using your time as effectively as possible. Don't waste time browsing your phone. The mindset you should have is, if I'm dedicating this specific time of my day to working out, I should give it my all to achieve the best results. Don't relax just because you've performed the first 2 exercises with perfect form. Maintain that form throughout the workout. Never think that because you've gone to failure in previous exercises, you shouldn't do it in the next. Focus only on the present set and how to get the best results from it. If your mindset is like this, you'll succeed. You just need to get to work. Take care of yourself and good luck.